So here's what I call our square bowl, and I've had a lot of people ask for the drawings and how to do it, so I thought I'd put a little video together to give you a rough idea what's involved. It's not as complicated as it may look. When I did the original, I did the back side, the bottom. I did that on the CNC, but then I decided it would be easier just to cut a bevel on the bottom side on the table saw, and so that's what I ended up doing now. So let's go over to the 2D view, and here's basically the drawing. And this grid right here is both the vertical lines and the horizontal lines. And this is what makes the pattern that gives you those four little compartments that you see over here in the 3D view. And I'll show you how that looks here in a few minutes. And then these are just the borders of the outer edge. Here's the, between these two is where we have the pattern on the thing right there. And I set it up so it would have like about a 1/4 inch border on the outside and on the inside to set the pattern off even more. So let's go over and take a look at the views over here, and I can go ahead and show you when we're milling this thing. Let's reset the preview. So the first thing we're going to mill is the texture, and there's your texture going around between those two rectangles we had on the original drawing. And now here's where it gets fun, and this is where you would think it'd be a lot harder. We're doing the fluting, and here's the settings I use for fluting the one I made. And if you want to copy some of that down, adjust it for your board thickness and so on, just pause and you can get the different settings. And then when we preview that particular one, you'll see how it's cutting the flutes. And I'm going to speed that up for you. And normally, if we were doing cutting similar to this, we would cut it so that everything was smooth. But I adjusted the paths just far enough apart that it leaves a slight ridge in between each of the flutes. And this is the fluting toolpath that it made. And then once again, we come down for the vertical ones. And here's the figures again, same thing, but we're just going to be going vertically. And then when I show you that one, here's what that looks like. Preview that one. And by going in the opposite direction, it set up these four little sort of like pockets, and it's got the ridges, so it gives it some additional texture. And then finally, we just cut the piece out. Get rid of that, get rid of that, and then there we go. So that's all there is to putting this together and having it so that it comes out looking fabulous. What I am going to do, I'm going to go on the table saw and I'm going to cut probably about maybe a 45 or less, maybe a 30-degree angle, kind of like this. So it'll give it a tapered effect, leave a little bit of flat on top, but then taper it down. And that's kind of the easy way out. I tried doing some rails and stuff, but I wasn't having much success, so that's how I'm doing that now. Okay, and that's how we did it. And then probably one of the more important things to do if you are going to share any of this is right here in the program, we have the Create Job Sheet. Because a lot of times people will send you the files and that, but you don't know what bits they used and so on. So when you click on this, then you come up here, open, and they set up a job sheet. So here you can see like the material thickness I used, the size of the board, the datum position, the XY corner, and so on. And if I was flipping it, it would show you which direction I was flipping it in. And then it has your toolpath summary. You got your texture, fluting, and then a profile. Gives you the times over here. Now the times that it's given is about twice what it actually takes me to mill on my machine. And I haven't really figured out how to adjust that so it gives me a more accurate time figure. The toolpath texture, on that one you can see right here, I used a 1/4 inch ball nose. The maximum cut depth was 0.107. My pass depth was 0.125. My spindle speed, of course this will all change with whatever machine you have, but at least it lets you know what tool was used and so on. In the same way for the fluting, I used a 1/2 inch ball nose on those to get the little ridge sticking up, and that worked well for what I was doing. And then the profile, I cut it out with a 1/2 inch end mill. But anytime you've got, any of these that you're sending out as an STL file and so on, if you have this to go out as well, it just gives them all the information that they would end up needing. Okay, that's all I have. Please like and subscribe. It would be appreciated. Thank you.